who could take God's place.
Where God means more to them and they are willing to die for God more quickly and justify that frame of mind than a willingness to die for a nation.
Who would be there to look after us, to offer us an escape from the sprawl of evil exploitations, where the strong graze on the weak.
Every definition that I've seen intersects those three core criteria. An absolute authoritarian leader, a charismatic person who commands absolute obedience and uses identifiable thought reform techniques and then uses the influence he gains through that to exploit and take advantage of members.
Who else would be there to tell us to be nice and become good people, who serve the sick and helpless, whose inescapable power will bring salvation to the meek and justice to the wicked?
I think all of us should recognize that we're all susceptible to persuasion techniques. If we weren't, there would be no advertising, no political ads, no celebrity endorsements. People would say, I don't care if Michael Jordan likes those shoes. It doesn't mean anything to me. We actually have a category of people called influencers who hawk products and have large followings on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, and then they market it and leverage it and make money from it. So all of this would not be possible if human beings were not susceptible to influence.
Who else would hail his helpless lambs for detesting the world as it is?
And finally, the leader uses that undue influence to exploit the followers, which can be seen by the people in the cult acting against their own best interests, but consistently in the best interest of the leader. You take those three elements together, the leader, thought reform, and damage done, exploiting the people, which varies by degree from group to group, and that is the defining features of a destructive cult.
در سالهای اخیر انتصاب خامنه به عنوان نایب امام زمان چنان معمول شده که حتی روحانیون درون حکومت هم به آن عادت کردند.
Can a cult or cult leader ever be reformed?
No, I really don't think so. I think a group can evolve and reform. For example, you could argue that the Seventh-day Adventists, when they were led by Miller, they were called the Millerites, and subsequently they followed a woman named Ellen White. And you could say at that point in their history, they were a personality-driven organization that might be called a cult. But as the group evolved after the leaders died and continued to exist, it evolved into a religion and became very mainstream.
دیکتاتوری که هرگز نتوانست خمینی دیگر شود و مجبور شد نزدیک 34 سال تنها به سرنیزه تکیه کند، حالا ادعای خدایی کرده.
They all have this omnipresent leader. I was making some quick notes here, and that the worship system is toward the leader. I think of traditional mainstream religions.
دیکتاتوری که به نظر میرسد از ترس تنهایی تصمیم گرفته شریک خدا شود.
So I think if the leader dies, that could be an opening for the group to change, evolve, and become less controlling, less authoritarian. And that frequently has happened.
Creative encouragement of new ideas and the most rigorous and skeptical scrutiny of new and old ideas, I think that is the path to the future, not just for science, but for all human institutions. We have to be willing to challenge because we are in desperate need of change.
اعلام کردش که سپاه یک ابزار نظامی برای زمینه‌سازی